Alright, hello everyone, my name is Space, and welcome back to another video. Yes, now 2020 has been quite an interesting year, to say the least. But it's also been a good time to catch up on entertainment, right? I've probably been catching up on a little too much entertainment, but that's why we're here, because I have been watching a lot of stuff. Yeah, well, a lot of stuff. But, so, I wanted to talk about my favorite pieces of entertainment this year, whether it be stuff that I have not seen yet, or new stuff that has come out. There's been a lot of really awesome stuff that's come out this year. So, I'm going to be splitting this up into movies, TV series, slash just series, I guess, whatever, and video games at the end. So, some of these I'll talk more in depth with if I have more things to say. Others I might just fly through, like, oh, hey, this, yeah, that was great. Anyways, moving on. So that's that sort of scenario there. I will try not to get into any spoilers, so if you see anything that pops up on the screen you've not seen before and you want to be extra sure that there are no spoilers, then feel free to go ahead and skip ahead. But anyways, let's start off with such a great series that I saw on Netflix. Like, all right, cool. I like chess. you probably that was the hint right there, wasn't it? It's a series that I saw that I just didn't know too much about. There's a trailer. I didn't watch the trailer. And I just like, oh, just watch, see what happens. I watched the first episode. Like, oh, that was good. I watched the second episode. I was sold. It's The Queen's Gambit, and oh my goodness, it is so well acted, and it's got a great style. It really fits well with the time period they are portraying, and it was such an interesting story too. I love chess, and it made me want to play more chess. Honestly, I was like, afterwards, I've been playing more chess right now, and it's just such a great joy to experience. And I watched it so fast. I was so just hyped and just loved it, and I so very fondly think of it. It is a very enjoyable story. If you're looking for something to watch, and if you like, even if you don't like chess, it's just such a great story that, honestly, it just made me like chess even more. Maybe you'll find some liking to chess just watching it. I don't know. But anyways, so that was The Queen's Gambit. Not too much to talk there. I don't want to get into too much into spoilers. Maybe I'll do a spoiler for some of these, spoiler videos for some of these videos. I don't know. We'll see. I don't count it though. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, moving on. Parks and Rec, a very classic sitcom that I just saw earlier this year, towards the beginning of quarantine. I watched a lot of it. I watched half a season in one night. That's just how much I liked it. It's so fun. And the reunion, the special quarantine episode, that was perfect. I finished watching it like a few weeks before that, not even joking, and boom, there it was. So that was great. I love that. That was a fun episode too. And it's just such a great series with some awesome characters. Leslie and just Ben, and of course Ron Swanson, the classic, and Andy and April. Just so many great characters. And Tom, so good. And it's just such a fun series. And Perkins. And just so much fun that I recommend if you really like sitcoms and just modern comedies. There it is, Parks and Rec. It's a classic. And speaking of classics, Community, I watched that pretty soon after I finished Parks and Rec, because I just wanted to watch these comedies. They're just so much fun. I watched The Office last year, I watched Parks and Rec this year, and Community. Such a fun series that I got to admit, towards the end it starts to sort of drop off a little bit, but the first like 3 or so seasons are peak quality, and I watched like half a season one night too. I went a little too far, I think, but it was fun though, so it was worth it. And Community is another really fun series with some great characters as well. Like Abed is one of my favorite characters. He's so funny, and it's just got some great and creative episodes. And it was even a lot of the first season and a lot of the, I think, second season maybe, or a fair amount of the episodes are directed by either Joe Russo, Anthony Russo, or both the Russos. That's right, the Russos from the MCU, from Captain America, and of course Avengers. Yes, of course Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, and Captain America Winter Soldier and Civil War. Yeah. Anyways, but such a fun series. I very much enjoyed it. It was quite good. It's really cemented my love for these comedies here. I want to check out even more. It's just so much fun. And of course they get emotional too. They have some darker moments. They get some a lot of emotion in there too. So it's just a great package of fun stuff. So, next up, speaking of comedies, I was like, I just really wanted to continue on moving along with these comedies, so I watched the IT Crowd, a British comedy, which was a lot of fun too. It's pretty short, only 15 episodes, I believe, but it was a really great experience. I really enjoyed that as well. Very funny. It even has one of the actors from The Mandalorian in it. He only plays he only does one episode, but he's also in another episode later on. But he only does a voice for a character. But I immediately recognized it when I rewatched The Mandalorian season 1. I was like, wait a second, is that who I think it is? It's like, it is. The IT Crowd is really fun too. If you're looking for a British comedy, and even just a comedy in general, it doesn't matter if it's British or American, it's the same thing. But it's so much fun. Comedy is comedy. Speaking of comedy, we're continuing off the trend. My good friend Charlie recommended this to me. Living with myself with Paul Rudd, playing Paul Rudd, or not playing Paul Rudd, but playing two characters, which is so much fun. And I love stuff like that. And it was a very fun time. I think it's only a miniseries, about 7 episodes long, I think, something like that. And I flew through that pretty fast, of course, but it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And something that I might check out again soon. Is just a fun ride. Oh, the next one right here. I will not get into spoilers for this one, but it's gonna be really hard. The Mandalorian season 2. I mean, so much has already been revealed online. I feel bad because like I just went in knowing nothing and it's like, oh, it's great, but I feel kind of bad for the people that have seen all these spoilers and stuff, because people just like, oh, this person here, this person, just all these videos that are cool, but it's like, oh man, just going in without knowing that stuff. It's so exciting. It was so exciting just not knowing, even though they revealed some of the stuff early on. Like I heard, like I was looking back, it's like, oh wait, there's some articles like talking about this and this. Like, I didn't even see those, and I'm glad I didn't. But such a great season. I love the first season, but the second season, oh my goodness, whew, they just knocked it out of the park. It was just like great episode after great episode. Even the one that I didn't like quite as much, the passenger episode. The second episode in the season, I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great episode nonetheless. That I do like some of the other episodes better, but I still thought it was a great episode. And oh my goodness, just all of the returns and these characters and stuff that we get to see is so much fun. I won't go into it. I feel like if you're watching this, you probably already know a lot of the stuff that happens, a lot of the characters that return, but just in case, I won't go into it. But I just gotta say, it was just so exciting seeing these characters come back and come on to the I'm not gonna say big screen, it's not a big screen, but just go into live action too. It's just so really cool. And a character that I remember my friend and I from way back in the day, I was like, dude, this character has got to live. Yeah, there's no way. He lived. And he's like, no, he did not live. But he lived. So, anyways, Mandalorian Season 2, I don't want to go into it too much, but I just got to say, it's probably my favorite thing I've seen this year. In terms of that's really hard, actually. I don't know. It's definitely like way up there, though, but it is so good. Definitely recommend it if you're into The Mandalorian. Even people that don't seem to be super interested into Star Wars seem to really love The Mandalorian. So that just really tells you it is just packed with great creators and actors and just overall just greatness, just all around greatness. So, speaking of Star Wars, we've got one other Star Wars thing to talk about in this category. I think this is actually the last Star Wars thing in this entire video. But Clone Wars Season 7. Now, when this was first announced, I was just so blown away. I was like, finally, I didn't think it was going to happen. After Season 5, and it was like, that's it, that's Clone Wars. Then Season 6 came out, I was like, oh, cool, yes, more Clone Wars, yay! And then I was like, that's it, that's Clone Wars, we're done. But no, we're not. They finally came back for one last season, and I was so very grateful for that. The first arc was pretty solid. I very much enjoyed it. The Bad Batch arc, that was great. Ahsoka's Walkabout. If you've seen some of the fan base's stuff on it, it's not the most beloved story. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. There was one episode in particular. I think it's like the third episode. I don't know. It was third or fourth episode that I thought was really great. But the rest of them were pretty solid too. I enjoyed them. I thought it was a good story that I know that not everyone liked, but I personally thought it was pretty good. The last arc, probably my favorite. It was so good. Probably my favorite out of all of the episodes ever of Clone Wars. But all of the episodes are really good too. But oh my goodness, the ending, the last 4 episodes, it did not fail to deliver. It was so good. And the very end too, oh my goodness, it's perfect. Like those 4 episodes, I feel like if I could call anything in Clone Wars perfect, it's those 4 episodes. I don't want to say too much, but I just gotta say it's great. Alright, so next, speaking of animated series, for the first time watching this with my good friend Energetic Dre, I'm very grateful that we have the chance to watch this together, and I have the chance to watch this in general because it's such a great series. Ben said my cousin really liked it back in the day, but I never saw it. I don't know why. I never saw it. I really wish I did. But it's such a great series. It's got a lot of really cool ideas, a lot of different aliens that Ben can turn into. It's like having 10 superheroes in one, and it's just such a very fun and very humorous, and it's got some just really great and awesome moments in it. It's just so much fun to watch. I really enjoy Ben's, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. We're on season 3. We've got one more season after that, and then we've got the rest of the series too, like Alien Force and Omniverse. Just all these great series. I'm so excited. It is truly a great series. I love it. And if you haven't seen Ben 10, honestly, I highly recommend it. It is such a fun. If you're a fan of superheroes, especially, it is so good. Oh yes, okay. So speaking of super, here's a controversial one. A little bit. I gotta say, it was sad to see that the fan base did not like this season too much, especially towards the end. There was one episode that standed out that I agree was a really amazing episode, but the rest of the episodes, people were like, no, not good. But I don't know. I haven't really talked to too many people about this since I don't know anybody else really likes this show that much. Supernatural, in case you couldn't tell. Supernatural season 15, the final season. It's been going on for 15 years, since 2005, and I gotta say, the ending was surprising. I'll give it that. It was I don't want to go into spoilers, but I'd say it was subversive. If that hopefully doesn't reveal too much, but there was one part I didn't like as much. I was like, I understand, but also I was like, I don't know. I sort of felt mixed about it. I felt that if you've seen this final episode, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I'll be as vague as possible. If you want me to explain it, I can talk about it in the comments. But it was something that I was like, I understand why this happened, but also I was like, yeah, I don't know. I felt like it should have been a little more, I don't know, epic, I guess, perhaps, for that particular part in the final episode. But nonetheless, I thought it was still a pretty solid season. It's not my favorite season. I personally think that the Kripke arc is probably my favorite, followed by the Carver, yeah, Jeremy Carver. His arc from episode 8 to episode 11, season 8 to season 11, I think, is my second favorite. And then I probably have to put the Dab stuff, which is season 12 to season 15, the last arc. And then, of course, the Sarah Gimble stuff is really good, too. Sarah? I think that's her name. Sarah Gimble. Gimble? I don't remember. Season 6 and 7, which I must say, season 6 is, I feel like it's a little underrated. It's pretty solid. Season 7, I can see why people usually call it the worst season. But I still really enjoy it, though. Not to knock it. I still think it's really great, but yeah, it is what it is. But see, I don't know if people now consider season 15. I don't know. I feel like they started off really great, and I feel like it continued that greatness. For me personally, I thought it was a really solid season. I thought it was really good. But anyways, yeah, Supernatural season 15 was fun to watch. I really enjoyed it, and I personally liked the ending. I thought it was pretty good. But I was sad to see that not all of the fan base really agrees on the ending. That they don't really. I've seen some mixed things, but. Yeah, Supernatural season 15. It was great that it lasted this long. But anyways, so speaking of a season that the last season wasn't always the most highly regarded, is Sherlock. Sherlock season 1, 2, 3, and 4. It'd be cool if they made a season 5. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I finally discovered it. I've heard so much great things about it, and I was like, I gotta watch this one day. And I was like, dang it, I'm gonna watch it right now. And I got hooked, like very hooked. I watched that like so fast. So, like each episode is an hour and 30 minutes, but I watched it in probably like maybe a month. I don't remember how long it actually took me, but I watched it pretty fast, and oh my goodness, it was so good. Sherlock Holmes is a very interesting character. I've always really enjoyed his character. I love mysteries, so it's right up my alley, and it's a modern adaptation of Sherlock Holmes, starring, of course, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and oh my goodness, it's just so good. Oh, so good. And I think his name is Andrew Scott. His Moriarty is, it's great. It's such a fresh take on Sherlock Holmes, and it's such a joy to watch that it's just, if you're looking for something just just such a great mystery, and just it's so fun. The character interactions between just Sherlock Holmes and Watson alone is it's so good. And yeah, I can see why it's very, very highly regarded. And I saw that the final season wasn't quite as highly regarded. The second episode in the final season, I must admit, is dynamite. The first one is usually considered and the last one I was surprised, like, people actually they didn't like the finale. I was like, what? I do admit the first episode in the fourth season was probably my least favorite. I still thought it was good. But I must say it was probably my least favorite. But yeah, like I said, it's still good. But the last episode I really liked. I thought it was great. I thought it was a pretty solid finale. I thought it was a good finale for the series, but I saw that not everyone liked it. And I can see why, I saw some of the stuff like, I can see where they're coming from. But I personally still really enjoyed it. I looked past some of the stuff like, they were talking about a plot hole. I was like, I got that. I get you, yeah. But I was like, yeah, it's fine. I personally, I liked it. I liked it a lot. But I don't know what my favorite season is. Maybe season 2, although season 3 is really good too. And season 1 is great as well. And season 4 is great. So just the entire series is my favorite. Alright, so I probably should have grouped these better. But we're back at it again with the sitcoms. I'm probably going to fly through these a little bit. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm still watching that. I'm on season 5. I watched the first 2 episodes of season 5 very recently. And, it is so good. It's such a fun series. I very much enjoy it. The characters really make it such fun. And the stories, too, are so much fun as well. It's a great series. Definitely recommend if you're looking for a comedy series. All of these comedy series are just so much fun. The Good Place, that was a lot of fun to watch. I very much enjoyed that. I kind of dived in without knowing really that much about it, and it was great to discover it and to just have fun. it was such a fun ride, and some great twists in the series, too, I must say. Whew! I don't want to go into anything, but oh my goodness. And the 4th season just premiered this year. I saw that as well. I bought it on Google Movies and TV. It's on Netflix now. I was like, I don't want to wait. I just get it now. Like, it was like a month away. I was like, dude, I'm gonna watch it now. So I did that, and the 4th season was great. I don't know what my favorite season is. Maybe I don't know. It's really hard. They're all unique, yet also I don't know really. Maybe I don't know. The 4th season was really great. I thought that was a solid conclusion right there. Very, very good. But anyways, The Good Place was a fun show. And New Girl was pretty fun too. I watched the heck out of that one as well. Like, most of these sitcoms I used to watch like massive amounts, like too many, like half a season, not even joking, half a season some nights, just going at it, like just insanity. But I haven't done it with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think the most I've watched in a night was probably 4 maybe, or I don't know, maybe 5, but I don't think it's been like literally half a season. But with the New Girl, and I don't think I did it with Good Place. I tried to slow down with that. I didn't want to binge. I didn't want to watch that too fast. It was just so good. But New Girl was also really good too. But it was such a fun series, and it's one of those series that I notice sometimes with comedies that they sort of go down a little bit as they go on. They reach a peak and then they sort of simmer down from there. But I must say the last season was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's not my personal favorite last season, but I still thought it was really good too. Nonetheless, I thought it was great. It's not to knock it or anything. It's great. But yeah, that was a fun series too. Very, very enjoyable. Next up, The Witcher. I finally watched this. I was gonna watch it when it came out, but I don't know why I didn't. I guess I don't know why it took me so long to watch it. But I was like, I got the time now, so I may as well. I watched that pretty fast as well. I think I watched that within like a week or something. I was like, yeah, this is just too good. I've only played the first Witcher game, which is really fun, but I need to play more of them. But it is so great. The world building alone and just everything about it is so fun. And people, I remember, I forgot exactly what people were saying, that it's not Game of Thrones. Like, people were like, oh, this is gonna be the next Game of Thrones. Like, no. It's different. It's its own unique thing. It's sort of like, if you will, if you want to boil it down very basically, maybe like the medieval version of The Mandalorian, but of course very different nonetheless. But that sort of idea of questing around, and there's a sort of a main storyline going on. But I must say, it is quite complex too. Not to say The Mandalorian isn't complex. It is complex. But like some of the things, like the timeline and stuff, is like, what? it can get a little confusing, but when you look at it, it's like, okay. But yeah, it's such a great series. I'm very much looking forward to the next season of that. It's gonna be awesome. And yeah, it's just so epic, so cool. Next, we have another series, of course. Continuing off the series, we've got 2 more series. Well, technically 3, but I kind of lumped the last ones together. we have High Score Girl, recommended to me by my friend Steven. I've been looking into, I wanted to watch some more anime. I haven't seen that much anime. I've seen some anime-inspired stuff like Avatar and Legend of Korra, which I rewatched this year, which was amazing. I watch them every year, pretty much. But actually, honestly, I probably will watch it again next year, too. Not gonna lie. Anyways, High Score Girl was really fun. It was very much a love letter to video games. It's based on a manga, of course. Netflix exclusive, sadly. But not the manga, of course, the TV series, the anime, sorry. But it was such a joy to watch. I really enjoyed it. It was such a fun. So don't hate me. I did watch the dubbed version, but I do like sub versions. But I don't know what it was about the dubbed version. I switched over. It's like, I don't know. It just clicked with me or something. I don't know. But it was really fun. I very much enjoyed High Score Girl. And if you're looking for some fun anime, it's definitely some fun stuff. It takes place in the 90s, so that's really cool. And yeah, good stuff. Next up, another series that just came out this year, and that is the Umbrella Academy Season 2. I really liked Umbrella Season 1, Umbrella Academy Season 1, but I feel like I'm in the same boat that I am with The Mandalorian, that I really liked the first season, but the second season, whew! I must say, the second season was my favorite so far, and it is so good. If you like superheroes, specifically X-Men, there it is, Umbrella Academy. Oh, it is so good. The second season is just so fun. It takes place in the 60s, and I love the 60s. The 60s weren't always the best time, Vietnam and all that stuff. Yeah. But, yeah, racism. But, it was so fun seeing this story unfold, and just all the things that happened was just so great. So I very much enjoyed it. And the first season sets up a lot of stuff, because it has to. It's the first season. You gotta tell the people what it's about, who these characters are, which is great. I loved it. But it really felt like they moved forward like a lot in season 2, which I very much enjoyed. Seeing these characters and grow and progress was so great. Next up, we have this is the one I was like, maybe I retract my statement about The Mandalorian. It is my favorite on this list. I don't know, it's so hard to choose between that and this, and but that is Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I finally watched these. My good friend Charlie also recommended these to me, and I'm very glad, very grateful for that recommendation too. Yeah, these are so good. I can see why the Breaking Bad is usually considered the best series of all time, besides The Sopranos, which I've not seen yet, but I will. And I don't know what else is usually up there. Sherlock is usually up there, but I usually see Breaking Bad as usually the number one. And I can see why it is so good. I don't want to go into too many spoilers here either, because I was so surprised by everything that happened. I've seen some clips from Breaking Bad in my time, but I've never seen a full episode. And it is so good. I'm honestly, it just hooked me so much. I watched it twice this year, not even joking. I watched for Breaking Bad 2 times, and it's just so good. All of the characters are so great, like Walter and Jesse and Mike and Saul and Gus are just so great. And it's just such a landmark in TV. Just the things they're able to do, the cinematic feel of it, the grand and cinematic feel. The finales too, my goodness. Oh, the finales, like season 4 and 5 finales, like honestly some of my favorite finales of all time, besides Avatar maybe. But whoo man, so good. And of course Better Call Saul too is so good. It's really hard. It's like I feel like Breaking Bad is my favorite, but Better Call Saul is like that close. And I see some people even say that they like it better, which I can see why. It is amazing. It's sort of a slow burn as it goes along, it gains more speed. And I love slow burns. I thought it was great. I thought it was just such a fun series that I was hooked to the right after the first episode. Honestly, like just the beginning of the first show, I was like, I'm there, I'm sold. And it's such a great prequel, and it does some amazing stuff. Some stuff that I say like Clone Wars does too, with some of their characters, like introducing characters you don't know what happens to them. Like, you got some, you know what happens to Saul, because he's in Breaking Bad as well, and it takes place after Breaking Bad, or it takes place before Breaking Bad. But some of the other characters like Kim and stuff, he's like, what happens to them? It's great. It's just such a great prequel series and a spinoff. Yes. So now we're dipping into movies, a sort of transition here to El Camino, which came out last year. And I must say, I noticed that it's not usually the most highly regarded of the Breaking Bad universe. I'd say it's probably like usually appears to be like the lowest on the scale of like, it's usually Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, El Camino, or Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, El Camino. Not usually El Camino at the top or even in the middle. But I gotta say, it was so good. I've seen it twice as well. I watched it right after I saw Breaking Bad the second time. The first time and the second time, watched it back to back, But, it is so good. It was really great seeing Jesse, and seeing the cameos in there, too, was so great. I don't want to spoil anything for us. But oh, it was so great just seeing more of Jesse's story, and it was so fun to watch, and I very much enjoyed it. It is more of a slow burn as well, but I thought it was just such a great movie that I really enjoyed it, and I'm very glad that we got it, that we got another piece of the Breaking Bad universe. So that was fun. And next up, I honestly kind of forgot this movie came out this year, but Sonic the Hedgehog, that feels like just like a million years ago that that movie came out. But it came out in 2020. It's kind of crazy, right? Right before everything went to, yeah. But that was a fun movie. Very enjoyable video game movie. A movie in general, not just to say like, oh, it's a good video game movie. It's not a good movie, no, it's a good movie too. It's a fun ride. I really enjoy it. Some people don't like it as much. Some people love it. It's sort of, I guess there's probably some middle ground there, but I feel like it's more of like more divided. I guess I don't know, but it was still a very fun movie. I very much enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see what else they do. And I feel like, yeah, it really goes to show that video game movies can be great. Not to say the other ones haven't been great, but this one was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And next up, we have another movie that came out this year. I think this is the last movie. Oh, no, there's one more on this list. Oh, sorry, two more that came out this year. I think. No, three more. Okay, I'm just lying at this point. But, Tenants. This is a movie, probably my most hyped movie of the year, besides Black Widow, but you know what happened. Anyways, Tenants was Christopher Nolan, and finally another Christopher Nolan movie. It's been 3 years since Dunkirk, and Dunkirk was great, and Tenants was really great too. It was such a joy to watch, and it's such a mind-bending movie. He's really great at just making movies that make you like think a lot. And it was so good. It was so worth the wait. I was so very hyped for it, and it did not disappoint. I thought it was possibly my favorite movie of the year. Honestly, it probably is. But there's one that's really good too that I very much just loved so much that I just want to rewatch a lot. It's just such a great movie. But this one too is such a mind bending and twisty, turvy, insanely awesome movie to watch. I loved it. Tenants. So, next up we have a movie that I haven't seen before. I'm ashamed to say I have not seen it before. Of course, I was going to put some movie recommendation movies on this list too, but I was like, nah, this is a separate video for that. But of course I saw all those movie recommendation movies. Well, actually not all of them, but some of them, I should say. But anyways... That is, of course, I saw three new horror movies that are not new, that have been around since the 80s, but I've never seen them before until now. That is, of course, one of them is The Thing, and I can see the parallels between Among Us and Thing. I was like, wow, Among Us is kind of like the Thing the game, but we'll talk about it in a second. But it's such a great movie filled with like paranoia and some great shots. John Carpenter, and the visual effects are insane, man. Like, how did they do that? They're just so good. And yeah, I guess there's practical effects is what I should say, not visual. Well, there's visual practical. There's the effects, and the story is really interesting. It really drags you in and holds you tight, and really just paranoia-filled, fun adventure that is very horror-fueled too. There's a lot of very horrific and just like scenes that just make it so fun and so good too. Not a movie that I watch all the time because I'd be so stressed out, but it's such a fun movie. And another horror movie, two horror movies that I watched, The Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, Sam Raimi. I really like the Raimi series, one of my favorites. Raimi's trilogy is one of my favorite series of all time. And I was like, I need to see more movies by Sam Raimi. Of course, I've seen Oz the Great and Powerful, which is fun, but I finally saw the first two Evil Dead. I need to see this third one, Army of Darkness. I'll do that soon. One day. But it was Halloween. I was like, I gotta watch something spooky. I watched Zombieland, rewatched that. That was fun. And I watched Evil Dead 1 and 2 for the first time. That was great. They were so much fun. I liked the second one a little more than the first one. The first one's great too. It's so horrific and just amazing what they were able to do in the first one with such a low budget. It's like, holy crap. It's such a it's quite the horror movie there, to say the least. It's amazing. It's so good. And the second one, I must say, I like better. It's got some very fun humor in it. It's like a combination of horror and humor, which I think is just so much fun. Just some really, really great moments in there that are very memorable, and just, yeah, good watches there. Evil Dead. It's interesting too, because Evil Dead 2 is like a reboot to Evil Dead. It's really interesting to sort of like learn about that. Just look it up if you want to. I don't think I can explain it too well, but it's really interesting. Next up, another movie that came out this year, very, very recently too, Mank. I was looking forward to this. I really like David Fincher. He's great. And even, it's really cool because his father wrote this movie, Jack Fincher, before he died. Sadly, he passed away. But it's really great to see David Fincher being able to make this movie in honor of his father, and to finally get his father's vision out there. And I really love the style. It has that very old Hollywood feel style, the sort of 40s or 30s, 40s movie feel to it. and it's really good. It's not my favorite David Fincher personally, favorite David Fincher movie, but I still think it is really great. It was a fun watch. I've heard some people say it's boring, but I personally thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. Some great performances too. I really hope that if it can be counted, I don't remember where the cutoff is, but I really hope that Gary Oldman gets at least nominated for Mankiewicz, because that was really good. But it's the story of the writer of Citizen Kane, and yeah, it's just so great. So I really like Citizen Kane, so it's really great to see this story. It's not all fact, of course. It's a movie. It doesn't have to be all fact, but that's what documentaries are for. Even documentaries, maybe. No, okay, but it was really a really fun story and really great to look at the sort of golden age. I think it's still considered the golden age of Hollywood, and just seeing all these big figures and stuff within Hollywood, that's it's really cool. And also the person that plays Orson Welles, oh my goodness, it's like spot on. It's from president. He looks like him, he sounds like him. That was really cool. So that was awesome. Next up, still in the movie department, we have Kung Fu Hustle. I watched a lot of Kung Fu movies this year. I really like Kung Fu. I think it's really a cool sort of martial arts style. I watched, I should talk about this too. We'll talk about it in a second. But the Kung Fu Hustle is a Stephen Chow movie. If you don't know who that is, he's a really awesome stunt guy and actor. It sort of comes from that line of stuntmen actors with, Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and you've got Stephen Chow. And yeah, they're also great. And Stephen Chow, he made a lot of movies in the 90s, and he still makes movies now, which is great. And he directed this movie. He wrote it, I think, and directed it, and he starred in it too. He's such a talent, and it's such fun. It's got an amazing style to it. It has that sort of if you've seen the other video I made about all the movie recommendations, talking about Hero with the sort of like anti-gravity sort of unrealistic yet so fun action. That's what it has in there, and oh my goodness, it is just such a fun movie, just filled with just great story too. It has a really just awesome story that I loved, and yeah, it's just such a dynamite movie. I very much enjoyed it. I watched it on a whim, like, oh, what is this? I'll watch it, whatever. And I'm very glad I did. Kung Fu Hustle. And next up's going on with Kung Fu movies. I almost forgot to add this. Ip Man. This is a biographical series. Of course, it takes some liberties as well, but it is about the legendary martial artist who did Wing Chun, I think that's what it's called, martial arts, and that is, his name is Ip Man, or Yip Man as he's called in China, or as his real name is. But it was really great seeing these movies with Donnie Yen does such a great job at portraying this character. He really just nails it. And yeah, there's just such fun series to watch. I must say the first one's my favorite, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one. The fourth one is still pretty good, but I personally liked the first one the best. I thought it was great. But it was such a fun series to watch with some really awesome kung fu scenes as well. It's got some great kung fu scenes, and I'd probably put them up there with some of the best kung fu movies ever. Not that I've seen all of them, but I've seen a fair amount of kung fu movies now. But anyways, of course I'd have to put up some Bruce Lee movies up there too, and some Jackie Chan. There's just such fun kung fu movies. It's got some awesome action. I love normal action movies too with guns and stuff. But kung fu just has such a unique style to it that just makes for some fun moments. So, moving away from Kung Fu now, we have Ford versus Ferrari. I really wanted to see this movie in the theater, but I missed out on it. I was like, oh man. So I was very excited to see when it was released on DVD. I watched it with my family, and I loved it. It's such a great movie. I don't know, it just clicked with me as well. Just such a fun movie. Not that I'm super interested in racing. I think racing is really cool, but it was just, and cars too. I'm not a very big car guy, but I think it was just such a great movie, and the performances really stood out to me as well. From of course, you got the two main leads of Matt Damon and Christian Bale did such great jobs, and oh my goodness, it was just such a fun movie to watch. I just very much enjoyed it. I rewatched it very recently too because it was just a movie that I loved so much that I just wanted to watch it again. And it's really one of those movies as well that I probably put pretty high up on my my favorite movies of all time. It's just such a fun ride, cars. Anyways, okay. So, another movie that was released, the last movie, there's one more actually. One of the last movies released this year, Hamilton, which came on Disney Plus, and I've been such a big fan of Hamilton for 3 years now. I think 2017 was when I first listened to it, and it was I wasn't sure if I was ever going to see Hamilton ever, but then when it was announced it was becoming a movie, I was like, thank goodness. I was so excited for that. I could finally see Hamilton. And then, there was a wait for it. It's like, oh, it's coming out 2021. I was like, all right, that's fine. I can wait. But then it was announced like, oh, just kidding. We're releasing it in 2020 with the, pandemic. We're releasing it on July 4th or July 3rd. I don't remember. I think it was July, whatever. No, it was July 3rd since July 3rd is a Friday and July 4th was a Saturday. I think. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, it was so great, especially seeing the original cast. I love the original cast. I've never seen any of the other casts before, but I'm sure they're all great. But the original cast is what I listened to, for just so much. I've listened to, especially the first act. Like, I looked on my iPod and it says that I listened to the first Alexander Hamilton, the first song, 50 times. Like, I can believe that. But I've just listened to it so much, so it was really great. I just felt so energized and so excited just watching it and just singing along with it, just going at it, just having a good time with it. That was really fun, and it is a very emotional musical too. I think I've seen it 4 times now. I saw it. Let's see, yeah, 4 times, at least 4 times, maybe 5 now. But it's something that I come back to every now and again because it's just such fun and such energy in it. I just love it. Okay, so the final movie, speaking of music, not necessarily a musical, but music in general. The final movie from this year, something that I was very hyped for as well, I loved the original movies, is Bill and Ted Face the Music. I was so excited to see that it was announced. I watched Bill and Ted 1 and 2 a few years back, and right after I watched it, not right after, but soon after I watched it for the first time, I saw that the third one was announced. Like, what? That's awesome! So I was very hyped for that since I love the first two. The first two, honestly, I probably put the first one on my favorite list of movies. It's just such a fun movie to watch. I very much enjoyed. The second one is great too. I know not everyone likes the second one, but I personally loved it. I thought it was fun. I watched them back to back, and usually that's what I do. And now I kind of want to watch all 3 of them back to back. Yeah. And Bill and Ted Face the Music did not disappoint in my opinion. I thought it was great and honestly one of my favorite movies of this year. I probably put Tenet above it, but then I put Bill and Ted pretty close honestly because it was just such fun, such an enjoyable experience and just so fun. I don't want to talk too much about it either, so I don't want to spoil anything. But it was so good. The last movie on this list is Her, a movie that I've heard a lot about, specifically from my good friend Energetic Dre too. He really liked it as well, and it was something I really wanted to watch, especially seeing more Joaquin Phoenix because he's such a great actor. And it is so good. The style alone really sold me. I really just love the look and feel of the movie and just the music choice too. Feels like just so, I don't know, like maybe melancholy or just, I don't know, just that feeling that I just really liked that, I don't know, it just brought me back to it. I watched it twice this year. And it's such an emotional movie. It's got some really fun and funny moments as well as some like really sad moments too. And it just feels like just such a good journey, like all around just feels great and just feels like an experience watching it that I just really enjoyed it. I've probably said like the same thing about every single one of these movies and TV series, but anyways, so next up and the last part of this video, this is going to be a long video. It's going to take a long time to edit. God dang it. I'm going to cancel this video right now. I'm kidding. Let's go ahead. Video games. Yes. I was going to make a list of my favorite video games this year. Will I? I don't know if I will. But we'll see. This is pretty much the list, honestly, right here. Maybe, kind of, I don't know. We'll see. But I've actually played a lot more video games recently because I got a Nintendo Switch. I bought a Switch. I was like, I'm going to go for it. I mean, I've got some money. Let's do it. So, most of these games are Switch games. There are a few games that are, actually all of these are on the Switch, but I haven't played all of them on the Switch. I think one of them may be on the Switch. I'm 98, let's go 75% certain it's on the Switch. I feel like I'm probably wrong, so I'm not even going to say. But all but one of these games is on the Switch for sure. One of them most recently, too, very recently. And you probably already know what it is, don't you? Okay. The very first game I played on the Switch was Super Mario Odyssey. It was a game that I've heard a lot about, that I've heard it is amazing. I haven't heard like a lot, as in like I've heard all the spoilers, but I've heard like it's just so amazing, and I was like, oh, I'd love to play that one day. And first game I got was like, I love Mario. He's one of my favorites video game characters. One of my favorite series to play is, I guess Mario is technically multiple series. You've got Mario Kart and, the 3D Mario and 2D Mario, but just umbrella it under one name, Mario series. The Mushroom Kingdom series. I don't know what it's called. But Odyssey was just such an experience. It was so fun. I was addicted to it. I played it pretty fast. It was like I had 3D All Stars too. I bought Odyssey, then a week later I bought 3D All Stars. I should probably get this before it goes away. But I mainly focused on Odyssey because I was just so hooked on it. I was like, this is the only game I really need right now. I could just play this for like a month and I'd be fine. And I defeated all but the last parts, where you have to get 250 more moons. I already have the first 250. I have to do the second 250. But I'll do that eventually. But the story, I really loved it. I thought it was so great, so unique. Everything felt like it fit together. Not to say that other stories in Mario haven't fit together, but it just felt like it was more story driven. Kind of like with Galaxy is fairly story driven, but I feel like the story just was so fantastic. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this game honestly. Besides, it was just such a great adventure. It was so much fun and so unique too. Like my friend and I were talking about it the other night. That there's no power ups in Mario Odyssey. There's just the hats, just Cappy, and you get a lot out of Cappy though, like a lot of different things you can do with Cappy, which is so much fun, and a lot of different things you can play as well. So it just makes for such a very unique Mario game, and I loved it. So fun. Odyssey, probably my favorite Mario game, to be honest. Besides, Galaxy is probably a close second, but I haven't played Galaxy 2 in a while, so I don't know how that shapes up. But I remember it being really good as well. So it's probably like Odyssey, then Galaxy 1 and 2. But anyways, and then 64. I love 64. But Sunshine is great too. Anyways, speaking of 64, the next game on this list, like I just said a little bit ago, is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, if you don't know what this is, it is a pack of free Mario games. Back in the day, I don't remember what system it was. I don't think it was it GameCube actually? I don't know. They made Mario All-Stars, which was Mario 1, 2, and 3, as well as like Mario 2 Lost Levels or whatever that one was. And they also released that on the Wii years back as well, which was fun. I actually have that. But 3D All-Stars is not the 2D Mario games, but is, of course, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Hoping one day we get Super Mario Galaxy too. But Super Mario 64 it used to be my favorite Mario game, actually, to be honest. But it still is really good. I still love it a lot. I recently redefeated it, and that was fun. Or defeated it for the first time on the original version, which was great. And I must say, this pack is amazing. It's perfect for someone that's, if you haven't had any experience with 3D Mario, this is perfect. Or if you've had experience with maybe one of these games or a few of these games, but not all of them, there it is, right there. It's actually the case right here, right now. You hear that? Anyways, so Super Mario 64 is old, but it's gold. Old but gold. I love it. It is still holds up in my mind. I know that not everyone may be so acclimated to it. I just felt like I recently replayed it on the DS, which is so much fun. Different version, by the way. DS version is different, but fun too. But I just felt so acclimated to the sort of the camera system as one of the complaints I see about it, and I can understand the camera system is very rigid, but I'm used to it. And yeah, it was just so fun playing Super Mario 64 on the Switch. I loved it. Super Mario Sunshine I've not defeated yet, but it's a great time. It's pretty challenging, my goodness. Like Super Mario 64 has some difficult levels, but Super Mario Sunshine, oh my goodness, I suck at it. But it's so much fun. I really enjoy it. It's very unique too. All these are very unique from each other. They have their own sort of things that go with it, and yeah, it's such a great game. It looks really great on the Switch too, I must say. Ooh. I missed out on this one. This is the only one I've never played before, so I missed out on this one. I don't know how I missed it, but I'm very glad that I'm able to play it now, Super Mario Sunshine. I look forward to playing it more in the very near future. And Super Mario Galaxy, I've not played the Switch version, but I've played the Wii version. I loved that game. It's so good. So I look forward to checking it out very soon. I might actually replay that, honestly, maybe even tonight. So there we go. Next up, continuing on the trend of the Switch games, there's only 2 more Switch games on here, but all of the rest of these games I think are available on the Switch. I know 2 of them are. But next up we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I love Mario Kart. I've played Mario Kart Wii a lot. I've played Mario Kart Super Circuit, which is fun. It's on the Game Boy Advance. I've never played 64. I've never played Mario Kart 7. I have played Double Dash a little bit at my friend's house, which was fun. Very fun. Love that game. But 64, Wii, not 64. Wii was my main game. Like I played that a lot. Like out of all of the games that I owned on the Wii, besides Lego Batman, Lego Indiana Jones, and Lego Star Wars, I think it was probably Mario Kart that I played the most. I just loved it so much, and it was great going into Mario Kart 8. It is so good. It looks so good. It plays so good. It's so much fun. I love it so much. Mario Kart 8 is amazing. Another game I just played recently, so I can't really say too much on this. I've only played it for about an hour now as of the time of this video, but Luigi's Mansion 3, it is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, the graphics are insane. The lighting too, it looks so good. It is, I love it. It's a great game. I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to playing more of it. Next up, a game that has just recently been released on the Switch, and I've played it just this year. It's been out for a few years now, but I finally got to it. I didn't know about it until this year because it really boomed in popularity. That is Among Us, and it's kind of like playing the thing, that sort of paranoia of like who's the imposter, and it's such a fun game. Very much fun, even more fun with friends. I have a few friends that have it. My cousins have it, so we have a great time playing. It's a fun multiplayer game that you can play by yourself too, which is fun too. But when you get to actually like talk to people and stuff like in voice chat and whatnot, it's so much fun. Great game. Another game that is also on the Switch as well, Katana Zero. I played this on the computer. I've played Among Us on the computer as well. I didn't play Luigi's Mansion on the computer, but Katana Zero is such a great game. It is has that 8-bit style to it, which is a lot of fun. I love that style, and it has a very interesting story. I don't want to get too much into it, but the levels, so much fun. The music is so good, and the style of it is so much fun too. I love it so much. It is a fun experience. I've said that a lot already, haven't I? And the last game, the very last thing on this list, is the first game I played this year, I think. Maybe? I don't know. It probably isn't, but it's the first game I remember playing this year. Maybe it is. I don't know. I feel like it probably is. But that is Bendy and the Ink Machine. That was such a great game. Has some Bioshockness to it. Of course, it's not like, it doesn't feel like a ripoff of Bioshock at all, but it has sort of like, if you like Bioshock, you might like this. There's no shooting in this game, but it has a sort of I don't know, Bioshocky vibe to it, where it's creepy and it has a really great story. But it takes place in an animation studio. It's very stylized too. It's got a fun style that's sort of classic Disney 20s Disney feel to it. And it's, oh my goodness, it looks like such an innocent game, but it is not. It's very creepy and very fun and just a great experience. I say that too much, I'm sorry, but it really is just awesome. I played it mainly for the story. The gameplay is really fun too, but the story is really what hooked me and it kept me going. And it has 5 chapters. And there's a new one coming out too, Bendy in the Infernal Machine. No, that's probably not what it is. I don't know what it's called, but I'm looking forward to the sequel. And there's also another one too, starring Boris, one of the characters in the game. It's sort of a never-ending maze. I don't remember what exactly it is. Dungeon crawler, maybe? I don't know. But it sounds like fun too. I've not played it yet, but I will play it one day. But that is my list. There's still, of course, Wonder Woman is coming out this week. I'm not sure when this video will be up, but it might already be out by now. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to see it before the end of the year, but I'll talk about it in another video. We'll just leave it at that. But thank you all for watching. 2020 has been a crazy year, but it has been fun too, just watching all of this stuff. And honestly, any of this stuff, honestly, if you're looking for something to watch, there's a list right there. If you want to possibly check out any of this stuff, I definitely recommend all of these. They're all so much fun. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.